Hi guys, Dark Aperture here, and today I'm back with Just Tech Episode 9. I was going to talk about the next-gen consoles a little more, but then I heard the news. And if you're following PC for a lot right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. It has to do with the GTX 780, or more importantly, that's going to come out tomorrow, so you can already tell this episode is dedicated to that. Okay, so first let's go look at designs. An ASUS box for the 780. Okay, let's look at this. It's loading the image because my internet is really slow right now. Here we go. So, this is a 780 box. PCI free, DirectX 11, 3 gigs of GDDR5. Like I said, it's 3 gigs. Like, because I read it off the spec sheet, and it's true. NVIDIA's stepping up their game, which means EVG for the win card has to be 6 gigs now. Okay. Let's also look at some interesting designs. Here is an interesting design. Free fans. Just seems to be focused on that. Don't know which company made it. Might be a custom cooler, but most companies that make custom coolers have liquid cooling built in. This one doesn't. So it's probably an extra company. Okay. This won't be a long episode. Okay. There's cards will come out. The 780 being first. Next episode will be a huge feature showing benchmarks. Now, this is what the 780 is supposed to get. It's supposed to be, what is this, like a 20%, 20 to 25% graphics performance improvement over the 680. It's by having a lower clock speed, so when companies get to overclock it a little, it could push itself past the GTX Titan. And the 70 GHz edition, being a bit ahead, the 680 is now flattened by the 780. So AMD, I can tell, wants to get out their new card. Okay. Let's look here. Let's look. So, here's the designs. It's based off their Titan design. Okay. Let's off now. Let's actually look at some true specs. Open up this specs sheet. Now it has Japanese names I can't read. Sorry, but whatever. Okay. Okay. I'm still recording. Okay. Let's see. So this website should have it. Let's see. Spec stats are still rumored, but it's tomorrow, so change it right now would be like saying, "Hey, driver teams, you know this driver's been working out for the past 2 months. Well, now we changed the hardware. You have to redo them again in a day. Have fun." So they won't do that. So it's a 10.5-inch card like the Titan. It's based off the Titan pretty much, just a lower end Titan. Okay. It's got 3 gigs of GDDR5. Its base clock is 863 MHz. Memory clock is 1.5 thousand megahertz, or 1.5 gigahertz. And the effective memory clock is pretty much 6 gigahertz. It supports DirectX 11, OpenGL 4.3. Its minimum required power supply is 500 watts, which is pretty good. So you won't need a very big power supply to handle this card. Unless you have an i7 Extreme you're pairing with it, which people will. I guarantee you, you'll see an i7 4970X paired with a GTX 780 at some point. I'm telling you. It's got it's a PCI free card, obviously. At this point, a high-end card not supporting PCI free is like, it's like a high-end gaming PC with integrated graphics. Yeah, that's it. PCI 2 is still good though, just not as fast. Right. It's got 2,304 CUDA cores, not as much as the Titan, but way ahead of the 680 and any other high-end 700 series card right now. It's got TMUs, more than I2. Don't know, maybe those are considered the shaders, and ROPs. 48, that's pretty good for a high-end card right now. let's compare it to the 680 specs, just to show you how big an improvement it is. Alright, so it's still cheaper, but as expected, it'll probably come down more in price later. So as you can see, it's based off an older GPU, the GK104 versus the GK1110. Still 20 nanometer. It's only got 1,536 CUDA cores, 192 versus 2,304, 192 TMUs versus 128 TMUs, 48 ROPS versus 32 ROPS. And also the 7A supports a newer version of OpenGL, but the 6A can overclock. Seems to be higher clocked, which explains why it's still somewhat comparable. It also only has 2 gigabytes. Wait, let's compare the memory bandwidth. Oh wow, the 780 is like 288 gigabytes a second of bandwidth. The 6A is only 192. That's pretty big improvement. The memory speeds are still both the same. Standard GDDR5. Expect GDDR6 to come out sometime next year, hopefully. Although GDDR5 is still good, GDDR6 I think could go up to 8,000 megahertz or 8 gigahertz. Don't know. Don't you tell me. What do you think GDDR6 will come out? The 6A also requires more power, and no one knows the temperatures of the 780 yet, but they'll be around the same as the Titan, except a little higher clock, so a little warmer. Still quite cool compared to the 680's reference design. And by the way, you might as well ignore temperatures, because they're showing the reference cards here, and all the aftermarket cores will come in, you know it is. So yeah. Oh yeah, well, let's hear the 770 release date while we're at it. This is the month of the 700 series, as we now know. Wait, let's see. So, let's compare 670. It's got a 28 nanometer again, GK104, 5036 cores. So wait a minute here. So basically, there's nothing really interesting to show here. The 770 is basically just a 680, more bandwidth, a higher clock speed, and a lower power requirement. So nothing there. And it doesn't support OpenGL 4.3. I wish all the 700 series cards could support that. And speaking of 700 series, we might as well take a look at this 760. Man, it doesn't have anything yet. It's supposed to be the replacement for my current card, which is a 660, though I'm not going to replace it. The 660 is fine for me. Expect a Max Crisis 3 with this 760 if it's good enough now. And let's look up some cooler designs. Let's see if there's any different ones besides that triple fan one. Nope. Well, it seems like PNY is very original. Just stick a sticker on it, unlock a couple things that the video left locked, and there you go. Oh, here we go. Here's a mod design. It's the NL3D GTX 680. I haven't heard of an NL3D 680, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. There's a water block for it. There's a gigabyte design for this. Oh, it's just the Titan. So it'll be the same design for the 680, I'm betting. 780, sorry. Wonder if EVGA is going to adopt this design they've used for the 680. Personally, I think they might change it. There are much better cores out there for graphics cards, though EVGA still has very good quality. Still, I've heard about that 670 coil wine. Not the best. Oh well. And the reference designs have definitely improved over this 570. Like, I mean, you're comparing this 780 reference design to a 570 reference design like that. In fact, let's see what this GTX 580. Let's see what this 580 reference looks like. Nowhere near as well designed as the 780's reference, that's for sure. Well, yeah, that pretty much ends my huge coverage of this 780. In fact, I've dedicated so much time to this. It's pretty big. It's been 10 minutes now, so that's it, guys. Subscribe to me to Aperture if you enjoyed this episode. Next episode.